11th grade year was pretty fun and I had great memories, and man, that year was terrible, dude. My school would ghost me when I asked for a tutor and help in class. My teacher wouldn't grade anything, and my principal despised me. And that year was so bad, I think it rivaled middle school. And it all started with my AP English class. My English teacher sucked at her job. And I'm not saying this as some angsty, annoying teenager. I always look back at the class I didn't do good and I'm like, hey, I could have done this better. And they always give me feedback. But it's kind of hard to do better when the person never responds or tells you what you got wrong with the assignment. Dude, this teacher wouldn't respond to any of my emails or questions. She was so bad at her job. I remember the first month of school, she gave me a referral for a low grade. And guess what? It was a progress grade. So it was going to change back to a B anyway. And I DM'd her about this assignment too. And guess what? She didn't even respond to me. Earlier in the mid-first semester, she made this class where you could go in and get help. And guess what? She wouldn't even change anything. All she did was click her teeth and say more filler than an anime in season 4. And then after all of that, she would then say, unfortunately, I can't change the grade. Then what the fuck? It's like watching those movies where nothing happens for the first and second act, and then finally, for the end, they do that thing where they're like, it was all a dream. Then why would you even make the movie? I remember one time she left a comment on my assignments, and I was like, wait a minute. Something's a little non-cohesive. Like the assignment complaints felt a little off, and well, like the assignment didn't even feel like a human wrote it. So I put it in like those robot checkers, and she wrote the whole thing in AI. The whole thing told me 95% AI. So I gave her benefit of the doubt. I put it through another AI checker. 95% AI. I put it through another one. 95% AI. She graded the thing in AI. You know what? I wouldn't even be mad in the first place if she didn't go on an entire lecture about AI in the class. Holy hypocrite. And her grading was also bad because every assignment was a one bullet gun. You submit it, wait for the issues, and then take your late penalty like a good boy. She would be so late with her critiques. So you would have to pray it worked, and if it didn't work, well, here's a late penalty and 2 sentences of criticism. So in the third week of school, I was like, I'm gonna end that cycle like how people instantly killed off Google Plus. Jesus, do people even use Google Plus anymore? Like, that shit did not stand a chance. Even worse, her personality was everything is sunshine, cupcakes, rainbows. I personally think she like dopes up. I mean, you wouldn't be surprised. Anyone be using a needle nowadays. So for example, let's say this was the prompt. What is consumerism? And this was your answer. Consumerism is basically where you're happy from goods and services or something like that. And you know what? Her feedback was like, keep going, you'll get there. Never any actual feedback. And her feedback would either be some dumbass quote, Einstein tried and he failed too. Or like, I like it, but it needs some tweaking. Okay, then explain what needs tweaking then. Why even have a class if you're not even gonna explain what I got wrong? Most of the AP teachers I had, they always said what was wrong, and I usually passed with a decent or good grade because they gave me feedback and responded. But she never responded to anything I asked her. Even in the conference she gave me my referral, she dodged almost every question I asked her. Then it hit me, I'm about to fail my first English class. And guess what? The final exam comes, and I legitimately passed the entire thing. And that was more so because me bomba bossman dad forced me to study. Y'all already know, them Caribbean parents make sure you study for the final. But that wasn't the worst of it. I unfortunately had to deal with the school staff. Bro, my school staff thought it would be a good idea to raid me. They didn't even search me too. They just said, empty your pockets, and went through my backpack. They didn't even go through the second zipper. Could you imagine if these dudes were like FBI agents or something? They would be murked easily. But like, what was actually happening was the school was suspending me for applying for a tutor on my phone, and I was trying not to tweak out because they told me, hey, use your email and apply. So I went on my phone, used my email, and then they were like, oh, suspended. And I was like losing it. And then them bringing out like these 3 dudes to search me made it even worse. And I was really trying not to lose it. And they thought I was on drugs because I was like tweaking out. And while I was hearing the bombshell that I was getting suspended for like the first time in years, all because of a phone. And then they bring in 3 dudes to search me, and I was really trying not to lose it. I was trying to hold my composure. The amount of times I had to actually use my phone because I had to set alarms or use it to open a document so I could have access to it was ridiculous. And then when I tried to explain the school, because they use that bullshit of you can only use your phone for school use, was ridiculous. They legit took prom away from me because of the phone violation. They suspended me so much and put me in ISS so much. But here's the real cock and ball torture. It was the fact that I never cussed at anyone. I never threatened anyone. I never escalated the issues at school. I never bullied anyone. I never showed any type of disrespect. I never even was disrespectful to my teachers. Like legit, everything I did at the school was just nonchalant. But they put me on punishments as if I like terrorized a kid or something. But they still hated me. They made sure I knew. The English teacher whose personality was bubbles and sunshine would mark me late when I was like 3 minutes late, which, you know, I would be fine with because yeah, I would be pissed if a kid was late too, because it's understandable that a teacher would be mad that a student's late. But guess what? She was late most of the time herself. Sometimes we'd be out in that class waiting for a stupid, I love unicorns and Schools facade, and then she would finally take her ass there. So yeah, I wouldn't mind getting in trouble for being late if she didn't do the same exact shit. One of the dumbest things was when my school assigned me a counselor, and then I decided, you know what, I'll give this counseling stuff a chance. And I decided to do something that wasn't done before by any guy. I was open about my emotions. And then I realized, fuck! You guys are never supposed to be honest with your counselors, because the first thing they do when you're open, they take you to the ward. Everything's safe with me. Bullshit! And you know what? Next day, I was right on the money. I was in that fuck-ass ward. If I could give anyone life advice, if you're going through something, do not tell the counselor. They think everything you talk about means, yeah, he's gonna end up like those 90s rock singers or those depressed SoundCloud artists in the prime of their career. So they force you to some mental facility. Please, guys, I beg you, if they call you in, say you're doing completely fine. Pretend like you're my AP English teacher. Have a facade or something. You're better at venting to porn stars or a homeless man than a school counselor, because I'm keeping it real. The moment you tell the truth, it's either the cops or the mental ward. Low-key, the mental ward wasn't all that bad. I met some cool people there. But then guess what? Finals hit, and I remembered I never actually got the time to study because I was in that mental ward. So you know what? I did all my finals ethically, if you know what I mean. Well, yeah, those principals hated me, but dealing with the principals was not as bad as dealing with a specific member in the staff, and he was... Okay, so this one dude in the staff hated me so much that he caught this one girl on her phone and me on her phone, and he let her free. But when I told him it was for like my class, he wouldn't believe me. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to verify both of our claims. He let her off scot-free and didn't verify me. And I knew he hated me. This dude hated me so much. When I explained I needed my phone for work, he wrote me up as a defiance and called my grandparents. I wasn't even being disrespectful. I legitimately said these exact words. Hey, sir, I am sorry. I can't give up my phone right now. I need it for my job because we are having an event. Because the place I was working for had like this big collab and they really wanted me to do it. And then he didn't even respond to anything I said. He said, let me hold it. So I asked, are you going to take it? Didn't answer the question. So I tell him, I don't know if you're going to take it or not. And he's like, let me hold it. And I'm like, I don't know if you're going to take it. And then he got mad under his breath and grumbled, jackass. And then this passive aggressive asshole said, good job. Now you're getting a defiant. This dude hated me so much, he would follow me around during lunch hours. But the worst thing this dude did was when I didn't give him my phone previously because I needed it for work, he took prom away and told my counselor about it and got me sent to that fucking mental ward. He was also only hanging around the sophomore girls too. They'd always be in his office. Most of them legit said they were only there to skip, and he let them. I don't know. Don't be surprised when he's on Dateline.
Tonight on NBC. The virgin man who got desperate and still failed.
I know you get turned on by like a Honda Civic and like a hall monitor, a X hall monitor.
The virgin who got desperate and still failed. The man-child loser who has no friends. Tonight on NBC.
But you know what? After all of this, I realized sometimes life just sucks. I decided to look in the mirror and see how I could change my character after all of this. But you know what I really learned? I learned do not let people just screw you over consistently and not say anything about it. If you feel like you're disrespected, tell that person you feel disrespected. But you know what? That's all I really have to say. I love you guys so much. Stay blessed. And if you're not religious, then I don't know, stay good. And I wish you guys the best. Peace.